We're going to start some stuff with standard deviation. We're going to be doing standard deviation by hand this time. So please put down your phones, guys. Really focus. This takes a minute to think about. All right, this first part, you guys should all be able to do by yourself. I want you to try it right now on your own. Create a dot plot using this information. Create a dot plot. The first one's city 1, the second one's city 2. You're going to tell me the range, that's like the biggest number minus the smallest, and the shape of the data. Symmetric, skewed right, skewed left. So I want you guys to do that right now. I'm going to give you, what do you guys think? 3 minutes? 2 minutes?
5 minutes.
I'm going to do 3, I'm compromising. Setting a timer. What? Let's make a dot plot. You just put a number on top. The range. You take the biggest one minus the smallest. Yeah. Make sure you do both of them. Don't put them all in the same one. There's city 1 and city 2. Erase if you have to. Even though, okay, we have 10 seconds. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Be nice to each other. It's harder for some people than others. Calm down.
What's the even
Okay, symmetric. Yeah. So we've got at 62, we've got 2 at 63, we've got 4 at 64, we've got 2 at 65. I did X's instead of dots. You can do dots. It's all good. All right, what's 66 minus 62? 4. And it's symmetric, right? Okay. My next one, I've got 3 at 62. I've got 4 at 63. I've got 2 at 64. I've got 1 at 68. And my range with 68 minus 62? And this is? Skewed to the right. Okay. Just a little refresher from yesterday.
What was that one symmetric?
Because it's the same on each side.
Because I screwed it up.
Right, so this is, more stuff is over to the left, so it's skewed to the right. Right, this is the left-hand side, right? More stuff is over here. Less is over here. a bell curve, they are said to have a normal distribution. Okay, so this is my normal distribution. It looks kind of symmetrical. Okay? When data have a normal distribution, a standard deviation can be calculated. Okay, let's turn it over. Okay, so this did not copy great, so let's go over this. So this is the very middle, this is the mean. And then here is my middle. This is a standard deviation in each direction. -1, +1.
How do you see those lines?
Then, because I have the book open in front of me where the lines are
I
actually.
don't know what I'm not.
This is 2 standard deviations, 13.6 on each side. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Yes, please put the lines in. And then right here, this is 3rd standard deviation, 2.1 on each side.
Wait, we're on the line.
You're in the correct place.
Oh, is that 13? It looks like 3.6 for me.
Yes, because I wrote right over the line.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just drawing your lines at this point.
Up. On down. It's just lines.
I'm full of energy and tired at the same time. Oh my goodness.
Let's try to focus, guys. Okay. So, about 68% of the data falls within 1 standard deviation. That's these two, because there's standard deviation 1 on each side. This is 68% of the data. Okay. 95% of the data is between 2 standard deviations. See on each side?
Yeah.
2 standard deviations, 95% of the data is in here.
I have to draw that round shape.
Strongly suggest it.
Did you just add it?
Right here, these 99.7% of the data are between there. Is within 3 standard deviations. And then there's this little teeny bit right here that's like 0.3%. That would make it 100% of the data. Okay. Now, we are going to calculate the standard deviation by hand. So we need to do a couple things first. Let's look at this group of data. Is everybody okay with normal distribution?
Yes.
Standard deviation 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we look, I'm trying to get the perfect zoom. Right here, this is the mean. The mean is the average. This is right here in the center. 1 standard deviation away on each side is 68% of the data. 2 standard deviations on each side is 95% of the data. And 3 standard deviations on each side is 99.7% of the data. It's just all of this, like 31, half of the data is 34.1%. 1 half of the data is 34.1%. That's standard deviation, that's 1 over the mean. This is 1 standard deviation below the mean. Okay? And then 13.6 is on each side of standard deviation 2. But if I added it all up, if I like colored all of that in between these two things, that would be 95% of the data. Okay? Then there's 2.1 and 2.1 between the 2nd and 3rd standard deviation. But if I was going to talk about anything in between the whole thing, that would be 99.7. Okay? All right. Now here's some data we're going to work with. And we're going to talk about between standard deviation. If you ever hear a statistic, it'll say, you know, the average was 10 plus or minus 1 standard deviation. We're going to talk about what that means. Okay? Everybody's awake, Magdalene. Got to write this down. You're going to ask me to re-explain it to you later if you don't get it. Okay. So, what is the range? What is the biggest number up here? 25. Okay. And 25 minus what's the smallest one up here? So the range is 15. Okay? Average. I don't care what way you do it. I don't care if you add all these up, enter it in your calculator, you type the word mean and put them all listed there. Everybody find the mean right now.
Okay, cool.
You guys should all be able to find the mean.
This is quicker features.
Might just be quicker just to add everything together, but you could type the word MEAN, list everything.
17.
17. Okay.
Is this just one problem?
Yes. Shh. Less complaining, more focusing on how. Okay? Less complaining, more focusing on how. Okay. So first, we found the mean. Now we're going to subtract it from each data point and square the differences. So let's do this right now. Okay? I'm going to list literally 17 everywhere it says the mean. So this whole line should say 17. Everybody with me so far? It says list the mean, so I'm just writing the mean in. Okay? Now I am subtracting this from this. What's 18 minus 17?
1.
What's 25 minus 17?
8.
What's 18 minus 17? What's 10 minus 17?
-7.
-7. What's 17 minus 17? 15 minus 17. 18 minus 17. 15 minus 17. Okay. What is 1 squared? That's what we're doing below it. What's 8 squared? Good. What's 1 squared? What's -7 squared? What's, all I'm doing is taking the number right above it and squaring it. What's 0 squared? What's -2 squared, Caleb? No, negative times negative is 1. There we go. 1 squared is? And -2 squared is? So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to add up all these bottom squares.
What?
Add these together, just the bottom row. It's 124. How many numbers are there? 8. Okay. Now, this is a way to put it all in your calculator. What does that little weird thing mean that looks like a big E?
I don't know.
It is. They use it a lot in the sorority thing, which is so funny because it means summation in math. Adding. Adding it all up.
Oh,
Okay.
I was thinking summation.
Summation.
Why did they have to come up with such a confusing symbol for it? So I always thought it was something like, oh, hey, do calculus.
No, it's not calculus.
Oh,
That's integral or derivative. Shh. Focus, focus. Stop talking about the word. Right here, this x is each point. This right here, this little thing is the mean. X with a line over it. And n is the sample size.
How do you put that in your calculator?
You don't. We're not doing the calculator part yet. What did we find? Everything. So we subtracted all of these, which is what it's saying here. Then we squared them all, which we got here. Then we added them all up, which we got here. So we just put 124 right here.
That's
Sample size. And how many numbers do we have again?
8.
That's my sample size. So, now we're just putting this in the calculator. So now we're putting in the calculator the square root. You can make your fraction by hitting Control Divide, put 124, and put 8 on the bottom. And I get 3.937. What can I round that up to? Okay, now remember, I don't think I read this before, but at the top we have to know what this sample stuff is. This is a car salesman kept track of how many cars he sold each week for 8 weeks. Do you get why I rounded up then? Can you have 3.9 of a car?
No.
No.
Just knock off a window.
Okay? So that's why we did 4.
convertible.
Okay. So, let's turn it over. Shh. Let's turn it over. We're looking at 9. At D. I don't know where 9 came from. We're looking at D. So in the next 8 weeks, how many cars would we expect the salesman to sell each day within 1 standard deviation? Okay, so what's the mean again? What's the mean? 17. Shh. Focus right here on me. Shh. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Yep, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Thank you. Yep, still don't touch it. Get hand sanitizer right now. And actually, you can bring the hand sanitizer over there. So, since we're recording this, let me just clarify. One of my students had a nosebleed and had to leave the room. And we're saying don't touch blood ever. Bloodborne pathogens. We're not supposed to do that. Okay? Everybody's fine. I'm sure nothing's, you don't even want to touch anything. Okay. We're now back to this. We're now refocusing. Everybody, look at me. Take a deep breath. Okay. We're doing this problem now because do you remember what I said at the beginning of the hour?
Yes.
Whatever we don't finish becomes what?
Homework.
Okay. So who would like to have less homework? Okay. So what do we need to do right now?
What's the trade?
So I'm waiting for that part. The closing the math part, the listening part. Okay. So my mean is 17, but my standard deviation is what again?
4.
My standard deviation is 4. Okay, mean we also put this, standard deviation we put this. That's the symbol. It's like a cursive O. Okay, so what's 17 minus 4?
13.
What's 17 plus 4?
21.
So, we would expect 13 to 21 cars sold. That isn't a 0. That's the symbol for standard deviation that I just said.
Go look it up.
13 to 21 cars sold.
How did you get that?
Okay. We figured out the standard deviation, correct? So we go 17 minus 4, 13. 17 plus 4, 21. Okay, we're going to do this again with different data. What is the range? What is the biggest number? This data says, here are the number of points that football teams scored during each of their regular season games. What is the range? What's the biggest amount? What's the smallest amount?
3.
So the range would be?
24.
Okay, figure out what the mean is. Everybody figure out the mean right now. Okay, so we should have gotten 15.9. Now, when you do your calculator stuff tomorrow, we'll use the exact answer. But in this case, it's going to be much easier if we round up. So we're going to use what if we round up?
16.
Okay. Now we're going to fill out this chart. I'm going to put in the mean, what am I going to put for this whole row? Why am I using 16 again?
That's me.
What is the actual mean?
15.9091.
So why am I using 16? Because it's going to be easier? Okay? This is just because we're doing it by hand. Tomorrow I'm going to teach you how to do it in the calculator, and then you'll use the actual answer. Okay? What is 24 minus 16? What is 13 minus 16? What is 10 minus 16?
5.
21 minus 16 is 5. 18 minus 16 is? 3 minus 16 is? 27 minus 16 is? 18 minus 16 is? 20 minus 16 is? 14 minus 16 is? And 7 minus 16 is? Now what are we going to do for the next row?
You're going to square it.
8 squared is?
60.
3 squared, negative 3 squared is? Negative 6 squared is? 5 squared is? 2 squared is? Negative 13 squared is? 11 squared is? 2 squared is? 4 squared is? Negative 2 squared is? Negative 9 squared is? Now what am I going to do?
Add them all up.
Add them all up, just the bottom row. Tell me when you have the answer. Ashton, can you make sure you hand sanitize the table where anything drips? Thank you. You okay?
533.
533 is our answer. So we're not going to write down what these all say, but we're going to say what they mean again. What does this little funky E mean again?
Add them all up.
Summation, right? What does the X stand for?
Each point.
Each point. What is this X with a line over? The 2 means 2.
Square it.
What does the N mean? Yeah, like the number of points I have, right?
Okay.
And this thing means what? What do we call it?
Square root.
So what do I put on the top right here? What do I put on the bottom?
11.
So what do I get?
6.96. So you get 7.
Why would you put 40?
Okay, so wait. Pause. Shh. Why would I put 11?
Because we're
Because there's 11
rounding.
numbers.
Because there's 11 numbers. I'm not rounding anything.
I thought you were
I'm not rounding anything. I counted. There's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
rounded to 7.
Okay, so we are going to round to 7. Why are we going to round to 7? Can I have?
Because you
Or
can't
is that
point 96 of a season.
You can't have 0.96 points.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't have part of a point. It's either a whole point or none.
You can have
Football doesn't. Football might give you 3, 7, 6, 1, but they do not give you 0.96 of a point. So we're going to round to 7. So what is the mean again that we found?
16.
16. So we're going to do what with that 7? This is our mean. 7 is our standard deviation. What do I do with it?
16 minus 7.
Which is?
I don't know. 16
9.
minus 7 is
9.
there. My brain doesn't work.
So
that
between 9
fast.
and what's 16 plus 7? 23 points.
16 plus 7? Oh, okay. You subtract 8 and plus 7.
Okay, let's do the back for homework. So number 3 is going to be your homework as well as 6 and 22. So do it real fast.
22 in the book? What?
6 and 22 in the book.
Okay, so 80, okay, 89 and what's the lowest number? 36. 13. I'm pretty sure.